when you are presenting the data in a visual form, we call it as a diagram. Bar represents the more clarity and more understanding, and it will also help us to know the trends in profits. The diagram, anything expressed in simple bars, can be called as a bar diagram. With the help of the different colors and shades, we will be able to represent the subdivided bar diagram. Hello everyone, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. I welcome you all to this session, Session 4, Unit 1. Now in this Session 4, we will be learning about diagrammatic presentation. Now what do we mean by diagrammatic presentation? A diagram is a visual form for presentation of statistical data. So when you are presenting the data in a visual form, we call it as a diagram. So a diagram refers to the various types of devices such as bars, circles, maps, pictograms, pictorials, cartograms, etc. So you can see here there is a variety of diagrams. So with the help of these diagrams, we will be able to express the statistics whatever we have collected. So these can take many attractive forms. So these are not graphic devices. They can take any attractive form, but they are not graphic devices. Diagrams do not add any meaning to the statistical facts, but they exhibit the results more clearly. So they do not add any meaning to the statistical facts. So whatever the statistical facts are there, so that will be presented, but they exhibit the results more clearly. So whatever is the result of the collection of the data, that will be exhibited through the diagrams. So an ordinary man can understand pictures and diagrams more easily than the figures. So when you are presenting in the form of a diagram, it can be understood by the common man. So the use of diagrams is becoming more and more popular in the present time. So whatever data we have collected, so that will, when that is presented in a diagrammatic form, so that becomes more understandable and more clear to the common man. So as a result of which, the diagrams are more in use nowadays. Now the first type of a diagram is the simple bar diagram. So you can see here there are simply a bars. So we just have the x-axis and the y-axis, and then we have the bar diagram. So the diagram, anything expressed in simple bars, can be called as a bar diagram. So it can be drawn either horizontal or a vertical basis. So if you draw a bar diagram in this form, in this we call it as the vertical basis, but if we draw it in the horizontal form, this we call it as the horizontal basis. So a bar diagram is simple to draw and easy to understand. So we can draw a bar diagram very easily, and it is very easy to understand, and it is commonly used in business and economics. So whenever we are dealing with the business or when we are dealing with economics, we make use of the bar diagram. For example, I have to draw the sales graph of company A. Suppose I have the data. So in the year 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022. So if I have to draw the sales graph, so this, suppose the sales is 100, then 150, 200, 250. So I can draw it as a bar graph. So I can say that each of these lines, they represent the year 2019, 20, 21, 22. Then 100, 150, 200, 250. So when I see the pictures itself, I will be able to know that the sales of this firm are rising. So in this way, I can always draw any of the statistical information in the form of a bar diagram. So bar diagrams can be drawn vertically or horizontally also. So here I can draw it as 250, 200, 150, 100. So anyways I draw, people will be able to understand it more clearly. Then next, we have a bar diagram showing the following data. So they have given us the year 2002, 2003, 4, 5 and 6 and the profits. So in the year 2002, the profits is 15,000, 18,000, 20,000, 16,000, 13,000, 17,000. Now, in the next slide, we will be able to see how they have plotted it in a bar diagram. So, we have this profits on one side, that is the y-axis. We call it as the y-axis, where the profits are mentioned, and in the x-axis, we have the years. So each of this, they represent the years. So 2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. Now in the y-axis, we have the profits. Now what is given here? So in the previous year, they have told it is 15,000. So here the bar diagram, the bar has been extended up to 15. Yes. The same way you can see in 2003, it is somewhere around 18,000. So it is slightly below the 20 mark, 18. Then in the year 2004, it has come up to 20,000. In the year 2005, it is slightly lower. Okay. Then in the year 2006, again if you can see, it is 15. And then in the year 2007, it is slightly lower. So when we read this diagram itself, we will be able to assess what are the profits of the various years, and with the help of the picture, we will be able to understand whether the profits are rising and falling. So if you can see here, in 2002, the profits were only 15,000, whereas in 2003, there is a slight rise in the profits, that is up to 18,000 it has risen. Now in the third year, there is a very magnificent increase in the profits. It has come up to 20,000, whereas in the year 2005, it has fallen below this 2003 mark. So it is coming somewhere around 16 to 17,000. In 2006, again there is a further fall in the profits, followed by a rise in the profits in the year 2007. So all this we will be able to assess more clearly when we are presenting it in a form of a bar diagram. So the bar represents the more clarity and more understanding, and it will also help us to know the trends in profits. By looking at the picture itself, you can be able to understand how the profits are fluctuating. So if there is a rise in one year, there is a fall in the next year, again a small rise, again a fall. So this, we can see that the profits are in this wavy basis. So rise fall is there continuously. So this is something we have observed only with the help of a diagram. So it is more clear to anybody who can see this diagram. He will be able to understand how the business is performing from the year 2002 to 2007. So the 5 years, there are no stability in profits, but then profits are there. Then next, the second kind of the bar diagram, we call it as the multiple bar diagram. So multiple bar diagrams are used to denote more than one phenomenon. So in the previous diagram, in the simple bar diagram, I just showed only the profits of the various years. But then if I have to show anything else other than profits, if I have to show the sales or the demand or the supply or more than one phenomenon, then I may have to use the multiple bar diagram. For example, import and export trend. So multiple bars are useful for direct comparison between two values. So the bars are drawn side by side in order to distinguish the bars. The different colors, shades, etc. may be used. A key index to this effect be given to understand the different bars. So in this multiple bar diagram, so we will be having a multiple bar. So we will be drawing in the form of bars only, but each bar will have a different color or a different texture to understand whatever is the phenomenon for the bar. So why we are drawing each of the bars and what it represents. Then there is a problem here. So we have an illustration here. In the year 2005, the company A's profits is 10,000. The B's profits is 15,000. In the year 2006, A company's profits is 8,000. B company's profits is 13,000. In the year 2007, A company's profit is 10,000. B company's profits is 14,000. Now, how do we represent this? Now, here representation of a multiple bar diagram. So how do we draw this? So again, in the x-axis, so we have the year here, and in the y-axis, we have the profits. Now, if you can see here, this pink represents company A performance and this purple represents the company B performance. Now, here in the year 2005, the performance of company A is only this. So somewhere around 8 to 9, whereas the company B has reached this 15,000. Now, in the year 2006, the company A's profits have dwindled. It has come to 5. Whereas company B's profits are still stable. And in the year 2007, both company A and B, they are in an equal position. Both A and B have secured 15,000 profits. So with the help of the pictorial multiple bar diagram, so if by clubbing both company A and company B, we will be able to see the performance in the form of a bar diagram. So here also in the year 2006, we can see how B has progressed very much here. But then in the year 2007, both the companies are all at par with each other because A has substantially increased its profits. Now, with the help of this multiple bar diagram, we will be able to assess the performance of two companies, that is company A and company B. So, this looks more appealing and more understanding for the common man. So, he will be able to assess what is the performance of A and B in all the 3 years with the help of this representation. Then, next, subdivided bar diagram. So the next kind of a bar diagram is the subdivided bar diagram. So this bar is subdivided into various parts in proportion to the values given in the data and may be drawn on absolute figures or percentages. So we have one single bar where it will be subdivided into various figures and data given in the values. So with the help of these bars, we will be able to represent the percentage of each data. So each component occupies a part of the bar proportional to its share in the total. To distinguish different components from one another, different colors or shades may be given. So, with the help of the different colors and shades, we will be able to represent the subdivided bar diagram. So, in one bar only, we just express the different values. Now, we have the district A, B, C. There are 3 districts comparison, and then they have subdivided the population into male and female. Now, in this district A, we have 1,000 males, 500 females. So, the total population of district A is 1,500. Now, in district B, the male population is 1,200. The female is 800. Total is 2,000. Now, in district C, the male is 1,300. Female is 900. and the total is 2,200. Now, if you can have a pictorial representation of this, so we can see here that in this we have these districts here in the x-axis. This is the districts which are mentioned here in the x-axis, and then we have the population here. The total population of the various districts is picturized in the y-axis. Now, in district A, this 1000 represents the male, number of males in district A, and the number of females. So, 500 represents the number of females. Now, yellow represents the males and green represents the females. So, if you can see in this bar diagram itself, so in district A we have 1000 males and 500 females. So, almost females are half the number than the males. In district B is slightly better. We can see here in district B almost there are 1200 males, whereas the females are only 800. Then in district C, we have 1300 males and 900 females. So, with the help of a single bar itself, by just having a different color for the bars, we can represent the total population and also the breakup of the total population on the basis of the gender. So, this 1300 represents the male population and this represents the female population. So, this is how we represent the multiple bar diagram. Then, percentage subdivided bar diagram. So, the above mentioned diagrams have been used to represent absolute value, but comparison is made on a relative. The various components are expressed as percentage in the total. So, for dividing the bars, these percentages are cumulated. In case the bars are of equal height, each segment shows the percentage to the total. So, the percentage subdivided. So, in the previous diagram, we had seen how the entire bar was divided into males and females. The same way we have the percentage subdivided bar diagram. So, in this percentage subdivided bar diagram, we have an illustration here. The following data on investment for the first and second 5-year plans. So, for the first 5-year plan, we have the investment in agriculture 357 crores, for irrigation 492, industry 261, transport 654, social services 306, miscellaneous 90. So, in the second 5-year plan, 768, 990, 909, 1485, 945 and 300. So, here we have the different second 5-year plans, the outlay for the different sectors of the second 5-year plan. So, based on this, we have the percentage bar diagram. So, I have to convert the various data into percentages. Now, when I add all this, I get 2,160. This is the total investment for the first 5-year plan, and then I convert the investment in each sector into the percentage. How do I convert this into a percentage? So, 357 by 2,160 into 100. So, when I do this, so I get 16.53. So, this becomes the percentage for agriculture. Again, the same way, so 492 divided by 2,160 into 100. So, that represents 22.78. So, that is the percentage for irrigation. Then percentage for industry is 12.08. For transport is 30.28. Social services is 14.16. And the miscellaneous is 4.17. So, when we add up all this, I should get the total as 100. The same way for the second 5-year plan, the investments and the percentages have been calculated. Now, based on the percentage calculation, we will be presenting it in the form of a data. So, this data is being represented here. Now, if you can see here, the first 5-year plan is on the x-axis, and the second, this one, 5-year plan is also represented in the x-axis. On the y-axis, we have the investments. So, what is the money invested in each sector? Now, in the first 5-year plan, so we have this 16.53, which represents the agricultural sector. So, what is the outlay for agriculture in the first 5-year plan? It is 16.53, whereas in the second 5-year plan, it has slowly come down to 14.22. Now, next comes the irrigation sector. Now, in the irrigation sector, in the first 5-year plan, there was an outlay of 22.78, which has been reduced to 18.33 in the second 5-year plan. Then, third one is the industry. Now, in the industrial sector, we have 12.08 and 16.83. So, we can see that there is a rise in the outlay for industry. Then, again, we have 30.28 for transport and 27.5 in the second 5-year plan. So, there is a slight decrease, and then 14.6 and 17.5 for the social infrastructure, and 4.7, 5.62 for miscellaneous. Now, when we go through this diagram itself, we will be able to assess what is the importance given to each sector. So, the highest importance has been given to the irrigation sector in the first 5-year plan. So, proper irrigation facilities were given, and in addition to that, even the transport sector was given a boost in the first 5-year plan. Investment outlay for these two sectors have been maximum, that is 22.678 and 30.28. So, transportation, that is road transportation, rail transportation, water transportation, they have received the maximum investment in this year in addition to irrigation. Then third comes the agricultural sector. So, agriculture has taken the third place in the first 5-year plan. Then followed by the social media, and then we have the miscellaneous. So, miscellaneous means it is something which is not specific. Then next, in this second 5-year plan, we have the highest importance going to the transportation sector. Almost more than 1/4 of the investment has been given to the transport sector. Then next comes the irrigation sector. So, the irrigation sector takes the second place, and then next is the social infrastructure, whatever is needed. So, that has been allotted the third place. Then we have followed by the industrial sector. So, they have an outlay of 16.83 crores, and then last comes the miscellaneous. So, with the help of this bar diagram, which has been subdivided on the basis of percentage, we will be able to assess what is the outlay in each of the 5-year plan, and we can also have a comparison when we have the bars side by side, and also along with that, we can also have the comparison between both the plans. So, what is the outlay in the first 5-year plan? What is the outlay in the second 5-year plan? We can also have the importance we given to each of the sectors in each of the 5-year plans. So, picture says a lot of things, but if you are writing it in the form of a paragraph, then that becomes tedious, and the numbers whatever are there, so the reader may not be able to comprehend it easily. So, with the help of these percentage bar diagrams, he will be able to assess whatever is there, and he will be able to understand the statistics better whenever a diagrammatic presentation is made. With this, we come to the end of this session. Hope you have all followed it. Thank you.